Welcome to Lesson 2. We're going to continue with our discussion of the CISO's role in an organization, and we're going to drill into GRC, Governance, Risk Management, and Compliance, the major function of a CISO. I'm going to walk you through a graphic that represents the body of knowledge for information assurance that we discussed in the orientation for the course. I want you to walk through this chart with me carefully, and we'll talk about how it relates to each of the activities that a CISO assumes in their role within the organization. First, we begin with policy. And policy is connected to the compliance and regulatory structure that the organization has to fit in. Policy derives from that structure, and then from policy we get procedures and technical mechanisms. We develop training, and then we have an audit function that treats all of this with a feedback loop so that we make sure that policy and all of the instantiations of policy in the organization do what we want them to do. This is what a CISO manages. And one of the readings that you're going to have for this week is a document from NIST, which provides you a handbook for developing an information assurance plan for an organization. This is something that a CISO would preside over. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that this body of knowledge that we've just described, from policy all the way through audit, fits within the context of a risk management setting, that your decision making is all about trade-offs, that you will never be 100% secure, and that you're always looking at what assets am I going to protect and to what level, what risk am I willing to live with, what risks am I willing to mitigate. That model relates intimately to a long-standing accepted model from the information assurance field dating back to when we were working with mainframes. This is called the Macomber Cube. And if you walk through the faces of the Macomber Cube, you'll see that this was designed to help an information assurance professional think through all of the places in a system, an IT system, where security may be a problem. So we look at the security measures that could be implemented in a system. We can require the system to satisfy confidentiality, integrity, and availability constraints. We want to look at information as it passes through all the states that it'll experience in its life cycle, from transmission to processing to storage. And then we look at all of the mitigations that could be applied at every interval where security is an issue. And those include, again, technologies, policies, procedures, and human factors. Note that that last face relates very intimately to the body of knowledge that we've fleshed out for an information assurance professional. I want you to, as you go through this course, think about the kinds of things that a CISO needs to implement within an organization. Extract that from your reading. I also want you to understand how information assurance fits into the compliance and regulatory regime of an organization. You should leave this lesson with a pretty good idea of what the information assurance, information security function is like in an organization. Have fun.